Think about this for a second. They're openly talking about this. They're talking about the fact that they won't list the guy on the ballot in New Hampshire. And I think probably it'll come, Michigan will be also on that list. New Hampshire's 4 electoral votes. You add in Michigan, you start to play the game here. Some point, you take enough off the board, the guy can't win. As I've told you before, there's 8 swing states. This entire election comes down to 8 states. So let's say you get 3 of them, 2 of them, I don't care, to take Trump off the ballot. We're not going to list him. Why? And we're going to talk about this just so I'm clear what I'm getting at here. The 14th Amendment says that anybody who's held office and has been part of an insurrection cannot hold office again. That's the 14th. And by the way, I always thought it was like a due process thing, but these guys are always thinking. That's the left. Always thinking. And they want to use Section 3 of Article of the 14th Amendment to go after Trump, to not list him on the ballot. Because play this out. What happens? Well, we had an election. Joe Biden won. He got more electoral votes. Yeah, but Trump he wasn't even out. Oh, too late. We already had the election. That's what they did in 2000. After the election, what's the recourse? Well, you can't vote again. Election day set in stone. You think that sounds far-fetched? It's not. This is the plan. They literally are telling us the plan. That's why I get so upset when we talk about China. China's like, we're going to take over you. We're going to, have the Belt and Road Initiative. We're going to collect all of the minerals. And everyone's sitting around thinking, I wonder what China's thinking. They literally are telling us. Well, the left is telling us the same thing right now. The same thing. They are literally going to have this election, have Donald Trump's name removed from enough states that it will be almost impossible to win 270 electoral votes. It's right there. I mean, look, you heard Joy Reid freak out about that mugshot. The one good thing is that I think the folks on the right get it. He raised, by the way, the Trump campaign raised $7 million plus right after that mugshot. And I don't know about you, but I mean, check it out. $7 million bucks. You know, Trump, he's going to be like, I'd like to get indicted again. But the funny part about it is, if there's any upside, is that enough people, I had a bunch of folks tell me who aren't necessarily the biggest Trump supporters in the world, and they texted afterwards and they said, he's going to carry Georgia. And I said, really? Why do you think that? They think that black men in particular in Georgia were outraged. I don't know if that's true. I haven't seen any data on that. But I think it's interesting how at least people who are close to the populace down there in Georgia think that that's going to be the case. And I think the Trump campaign is unbelievably poised to take advantage of this indictment. You look at the number of people who are posting their own mugshots, they're mocking this. This gets back to this issue of, did the DA down there jump the shark? Yes, she's a hero to Joy Reid. Great. You'll get your own MSNBC show someday. But the reality is that because of all the questions, is this in federal court? When is it going to happen? How do you keep the 19 together? This has done exactly what it's done with all the other indictments. It has garnered the base to get stronger and created momentum going forward. Trump is going to be stronger. And these other candidates, they came out of a debate thinking they were going to tout themselves, and they've got to now defend Trump. Right? This is a big thing. I think that this, unless there's a game changer, by the way, I do think all of these cases, for the most part, at least legally, and I'm going to talk to Alan Dershowitz about this tomorrow, is I think that this is going to push till after the election. What you saw, as I said, coming out of the debate, Vivek Ramaswamy, the big winner, in my opinion. I think DeSantis did what he had to do. I think he proved to his big donors, keep giving to me, I'll fight another day. I think he answered some questions well. He missed a couple opportunities to get in there. But there's no question. If you look online, you look in the mainstream media, and you look at the Sunday shows yesterday, he's everywhere. Vivek Ramaswamy is everywhere. He schooled Dana Bash on CNN, and then Chuck Todd, he ran circles around the guy. Here's the thing, though, and I want to remind you of this. What did I say going into the debate? The mainstream media wanted a fight. They wanted a fight. They want everyone to be Chris Christie and go after Donald Trump. He's bad, he's evil, and da-da-da-da. I told you, I think that's a stupid strategy. There's only so many people. And plus, even if you win, you've pissed off all of Trump's supporters, then they're not going to vote for you, and then you can't win a general. I get it. It makes great television. It makes great ratings. It makes Chuck Todd happy. And plus the people at CNN and Politico. But it's stupid strategic. Look at Vivek Ramaswamy. I guarantee you, in poll after poll that come out in the next week, not just nationally, but especially in those early states, he's going to fly up. He's drafting. I'm not a big NASCAR guy, but I know enough about drafting, right? You got that front car, the second car comes behind it, and it's basically trying to say, okay, we'll just draft off of you, and then at some point we're going to try to go around you. Vivek is basically saying, I want you Trump voters who like Donald Trump, who like Donald Trump's policies, who like the America First agenda, to join me, and I can be Trump without being Trump. I'm going to support him. I'm going to pardon him. And the rest of these guys are going to slowly attrit and drop out. That's just Vivek. Burgum, Hutchinson, bye-bye. Pence, I think, slowly goes. Christie goes. And you're going to have Vivek there. And then he's hoping that it's a one-on-one race at some point. And he says, hey, I love you. I think you're great. I can be the next version of you. I can be a uniter. He gives a great answer. I don't think it's going to work. I just don't think. I think it gets you maybe to be the number 2 guy. But what adds to this, and this is what I talked about at the beginning of the show, Trump truthed out today that he thinks that Ron DeSantis is going to drop out of the race and run for Senate against Rick Scott. Now, here's the kicker. You saw that he was down there over the weekend dealing with this horrible, horrible shooting in Jacksonville. That's what a governor does, and rightly so. He was there consoling the folks down there, talking about how he was going to address security at HBCUs, et cetera, et cetera. But there's another thing that's happening. It's hurricane season. You've got a hurricane coming up the coast that's likely to strike in the Tampa area. And we saw what happened before. Hurricanes cause problems and destruction. And hope to God that there is minimal destruction and no loss of life. But the reality is, Ron DeSantis showed us during the last hurricane that he was a great leader in the state. Great leaders are going to get a lot of press coverage. So he's going to get stuck in Florida for the next little while. He's going to have to be on TV talking about recovery efforts, what he's doing, how he's handling this. And he did really well the last time. Hopefully, again, God willing, it's minimal. But the reality is that in any case, he'll be stuck in Florida. He won't be able to campaign because that looks tone deaf. And number 2 is that if he handles it anywhere close to what he did last time, it'll give him a ton of attention, talking about something that's good for his state. He's going to be looking presidential, right? So I think Trump's got something there. How DeSantis reacts to this is critical. And also, how does Rick Scott react to this? Rick Scott has been a friend of Donald Trump. He's been supportive of Donald Trump. He's been a good campaigner. He's been a great governor and a great senator. Rick Scott's one of the guys who's been taking on China. A strong advocate of an America First policy. Well, if you enjoyed this content, make sure you click the link below to find out more, or you can go to SeanSpicerShow.com to stay up to date on all my content.